Hey, what's going on guys? So I just came back from seeing How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. Now you're probably like, how did this guy see this film already? Doesn't it come out on like the 22nd? Well, here's the thing, yeah. Other countries got this film early. I mean, for the UK, this only came out like about 3 days ago. This film actually came out a month ago in Australia.
G'day, mate.
So yeah, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World is the third and final film in this franchise. And yes, this is in fact the final one. This is directed by Dean DeBlois, who also directed the previous two, and he was also the director of Lilo and Stitch. So yeah, just like my Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales review, geez, that's still a long title, I don't care. I'm going to give my quick thoughts on the previous two films. If you just want to hear my thoughts on The Hidden World, then just skip to this part of the video. Okay, so the first How to Train Your Dragon was really good. Not only does it have spectacular visuals, but the characters are just really cool. There isn't really anyone who I didn't like, and I found the characters all to be unique. I mean, I wouldn't say any of the characters in this film are bland, if you know what I mean. I love the bond between Hiccup and Toothless, which is just adorable, and I did like the drama between Hiccup and his dad Stoic, you know, who is a dragon warrior and wants to fight against them to protect his land. You understand where he's coming from, as you know, he is the leader and he has to protect his people, but yeah, he just basically has trouble listening to his son. The best parts of this film are the flying sections with the dragons. Fam, the way these scenes were shot really makes you feel like you're flying with them, and it's even better in 3D. Yeah, this is one of those films where the 3D actually makes the film better. But yeah, first How to Train Your Dragon is one of the best DreamWorks films. How to Train Your Dragon 2 is even better in my opinion. This film is set 5 years after the events of the previous film, so these characters are a bit older now. You also get character development with the previous characters, and it's great to see them again. In this film you also explore new types of dragons, and we're also introduced to new characters such as Eret, played by my guy Jon Snow himself.
Dragon, show yourself.
And we're also introduced to Hiccup's mum, who I found to be very intriguing in this film. The flying scenes is by far the best in here out of the whole series. I mean, it's really breathtaking. In fact, the visuals overall are a step up from the first one. There are a lot more action sequences in here which are great, and the film did expand on the character of Hiccup. Like, he's no longer a weak kid, like he's now established as a very practical and inventive guy. And he actually has good chemistry with Astrid. Their relationship with each other, it doesn't seem fake or forced.
The villain in this film is Drago, you know, that guy who shouts all the time.
The villain was alright. I mean, for the first act of the film he doesn't really do anything, but come the second and third act, that's when he actually starts doing stuff. Basically, yeah, this is probably one of the best animated films of the whole decade. Alright, so How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. Again, another great installment of the franchise. And this film was a good way to finish the series if you ask me. Is this as good as the previous ones? Nah, it's not. As a trilogy, it's probably the weakest out of all of them. But you know, come on, the previous two films are masterpieces. I didn't actually think the third one would top the second one anyway. But it's still a good film though, so let's just delve into this. While the second one jumps 5 years later, this one only jumps forward by like 1 year after the events of the second one. I kinda wish they jumped a bit further. I mean, in the trailer we do see a shot of Hiccup looking much older with like a full beard and that. You only really see that at the end of the film. So yeah, I kinda wish we saw him and the rest of the characters look older for the whole film. And then, I don't know, have them elderly at the end instead. But you know, oh well, that's minor really. So the characters in this film vary because the film kinda focuses more on Toothless and this new Light Fury than the rest of the characters. In fact, I might as well speak on this now. So yeah, basically we find this new female Night Fury, or Light Fury, which is what they call her. So the film does focus on the Fury's relationship for the majority of the film, and you know, it is really cute, not gonna lie. The only thing is that it means that the rest of the characters don't really have much to do. Like Eret, he really doesn't do anything in this film. Like, he's just there because, you know, he's with the group now. So you see this guy Snotlout, right? He's basically here to redo an ongoing joke from the second film. Like, in the second film, the joke was that Ruffnut was like really into Eret, and they do the same joke here with Snotlout and Valka. Speaking on Roughen Up, by the way, she was only really relevant for like one scene in the whole film, and that was basically it. Like before, I actually forgot she was even in the film until she became important for like that one scene. Gobbert also has an ongoing guy, which is pretty funny, not gonna lie. Astrid and her relationship with Hiccup is shown more here too, which is nice to see. Tough Nut, fam, I don't know what was going on, but this guy got way more screen time than I thought he would. Like, he acts like some wingman for Hiccup or something, and I don't know, he just randomly got more screen time in this film. That just caught me off guard, not gonna lie. Like, he just kept popping up. And Fish Legs, yeah, well, he also didn't really do much. See, with the side characters, they have this side plot where they have to work together better. Like, this was a problem that was established at the beginning of the film, but it's like never touched on again until like the end of the film. So let's talk about the villain. For the villain, we have Grimmel, and like the other villain, he was alright, you know. Like, his motives are a bit of a stretch. Like, basically when he was young, he killed a Night Fury and gained respect for that, so now he just wants to kill all the Night Furies in order to protect the people. And it's like, okay. Like, he's basically a mix between the motives of Hiccup's dad and Drago. Like, he's nowhere near as menacing as Drago, by the way, but he definitely has more of a presence as a villain than Drago did in the second one. So yeah, overall more or less on the same page as Drago. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about Hiccup. Yeah, basically with Hiccup, he's now the chief of the village, so now he has to cope with that responsibility of protecting the whole village, especially when Grimmel comes into the picture. Hiccup has definitely grown over the last few films. He's now definitely established as a proper leader now. Let's talk on the visuals again. The visuals are great in this, especially when you see the hidden world, which unfortunately you don't get to see much of. The animation itself is incredible though. Like, there is a scene which involves sand. Nah, but the sand, fam, Big Man Tin, it looked real. Overall, the visuals are great, and so are the flying sequences, although the flying sequences here are not as grand as they were in the second one, or even the first one. I think, like, it's more romantic and intimate than it is, you know, a spectacle. It makes sense in terms of the story, because this film is actually more of a romance film, which again, I must stress, is adorable. I mean, there's only really like 2 action sequences in the film, which was like one at the beginning and one at the end. The film does hit you with those emotional beats though. You know, this being the last film, there were a lot of callbacks to the previous films, and the last scenes of the film were really touching, and a very satisfying end for the trilogy. So yeah, I actually do recommend you see this film if you like the previous ones. Just know it is more of a romantic film than it is an action spectacle. So guys, girls, this is the perfect film to take your date on Valentine's Day at, oh, sorry America. But yeah, that's my review on How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. If I had to rank these, it would probably be the second one being the best, then the first one, then the third one. It's the weakest out of the other 2, but it's still very enjoyable. So yeah, what do we have next? Okay, so I know very little about this, but you know, it might be interesting, so we'll see. But yeah, that's basically it. So if you enjoyed this review, make sure to like, subscribe, have a good day, and God bless.